is a superstar.
Back then, I was like,
I do offer you a lot of money.
Welcome to 101. I'm Steve Adubato. This is a series within a series called The Future of American Cities. We're looking at a whole range of issues that affect American cities, and gentleman you're about to see is having a direct impact, but from a perspective you may not expect. He is Chris Barrett. He is a filmmaker with Powerhouse Pictures based both in Los Angeles and in New York. And Chris has been doing a lot of film work that has had a great impact on the city of Camden, right outside of Philadelphia, where we have a big audience. But he also has a story to tell that really talks about how filmmaking and the art of film can have a direct impact on kids and cities and potentially change their lives. Stay with us. This is 101. We'll be right back. There he is, Chris Barrett from Powerhouse Pictures. He is a filmmaker. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Cherry Hill, again, right outside of Philly.
Yep. I went to college out in California at Pepperdine, so I've seen both coasts.
When did you know that filmmaking was your passion?
I think when I was 14 or 15, I really decided I wanted to be a filmmaker, but it took until I started getting out into the industry and started meeting other people that I knew this is something I wanted to do and I can turn it into a career. What was it about it that fascinated you? Just the whole entertainment aspect and being able to entertain the world and educate the world and help the world see issues that haven't really been noticed before.
Talk to us about the Camden connection.
I started speaking at the school in Camden where Craig Bazan went, and
Craig's going to be joining us just a little bit later.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You'll see his videos.
Right.
But I spoke to these kids, and they were unbelievable. And one of the students who just graduated, Craig, who you'll see, he had a monologue that his teacher wanted him to do for me from Hamlet. So he performed it inside the school. And
Time out. Craig, who's going to be interviewed by our own Lisa Marie Latino, one of our producers, he does a monologue from Hamlet.
Yeah. And my mouth drops. I'm completely in shock. It's unbelievable how passionate he was about his art, and no one has ever seen him perform this other than the kids around the school. So I took my camera and we went outside across the street from the school, and I hit record on the camera and I set it up, and Craig went into his monologue. He did it in one take in 4 minutes. And it was just unbelievable. And then I rewound it for him so he could see himself in the viewfinder on the camera. And he looked at it and he told me that was the first time he ever saw himself on film.
That was the first time. By the way, guys, I know we're going to be running a little bit later. Jeff, is it possible to cue it up so we can get to see a few seconds of it? Let's take a look at Craig Bazan, right?
Bazan. Craig
Bazan. And again, you'll be meeting him a little bit later. And this, by the way, this video got about, I think it's got, what is it? Totally different one. Do me a favor, cue this one up as we're talking about it, because this one from Hamlet got, I believe, almost 500,000 hits on YouTube.
Yep. And it's aired on ABC I Caught, the new news show that they're doing, and so people all across the world have seen it.
You know what, Chris, talking about it is one thing, but seeing Craig in person is another. Let's take a look at the clip.
Rain, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice with his whole function suiting, with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing? For Hecuba? What is Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and applaud the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddied, meddled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, I'm pregnant of my cause and can say nothing.
What did it do to you when you saw him do it the first time?
It was very emotional. It almost brought tears to my eyes. It was just something I'd never seen before, and I knew I had the ability to let the world see what he had inside of him.
You knew you had the ability to let the world see what was inside of Craig.
Yeah.
Is that what it is for you, that you can help people tell their own story?
I think it fell into my lap. I was never expecting to see something
let's make it
this
clear.
powerful.
You were there for this whole, was it the CNN YouTube debate?
I went to film a student there for the CNN YouTube debate, and Craig did his question for that, and it's an amazing question, but they ended up not using that question. But one of the editors at YouTube saw the video that he did that I posted, and he said, "Chris, you have an eye for talent." and he featured it on the People and Blog section of the site, and it got about 60,000 views over the first couple days. And then about 10 days later, the editor emailed me and said something big's going to happen the next, either tonight or tomorrow. And that night, it went up on the front page of YouTube, and it pushed it up to close to 500,000 views, and the whole world saw it. Craig was interviewed in Philadelphia on the news, and ABC News called us and wanted to air the piece nationally. So it was something just unbelievable. And then I decided to keep going back to the school, and I shot probably 5 or 6 more pieces with Craig, and I also worked with some other students there and filmed some original pieces that they had written, and also just other performances that I put up online. And we're going to try to turn this into a national program, since this kind of fell into our lap. Right. We never expected this. We were going to try to start a national initiative where we go into inner city schools and allow them to have the ability to get their talents out there and to have inspirational people come speak to the kids.
What does it have to do with the future of American cities, telling the story of these kids?
Because I think these kids have talent, and they need to have the world see what their talent is. Because if their talent isn't seen, then there's no way they'll ever pursue it. And what's interesting about Camden, when, let's say there's a student in Harlem who has a talent, he can go audition for a Broadway play, right? He can take the subway right down and go to it. But when you're in a city like Camden, these kids have no means to get into New York City for an audition. A big night out for them is taking the $3 train into Philadelphia. Right. That's something. So if we can start a project where we're helping these inner city kids get their talent seen, people will see it. And Craig's had offers from the New Jersey Shakespearean Company to audition and scholarship. So every person who sees these talents are unbelievable.
You know, as I'm listening to you, Chris, I'm thinking the future of American cities in many ways, it is these kids. Mm-hmm. It is these kids. Jeff, in the control room, we have a clip coming up. Set it up for me. What is this, guys? Ted Williams.
Ed Williams.
It's Ed. Oh, Ed Williams is one of the.
He was another student.
One of the kids. I'm sorry. I'm saying Ted Williams. I'm thinking you threw me off here because I was thinking about our fans up in Boston. Let's go to Ed Williams, the video clip, and we'll talk to Chris right after.
I met her in 9th grade, and I had plans to have children and build a better life with her. But you didn't want that for me. You wanted me to stay around and hang out with all them friends of mine that told me to do all those drugs and stuff. You. The drugs was you. I lost her after we graduated. We had 2 sons. I can't even visit my sons. I can't even have visitation hours with my sons. She has full custody of them, and I can't even see my own blood. Because of you. I won't take you no more.
What did it take to get this kid to talk?
To get Craig to talk? That was, or Ed,
yeah.
That was an original piece he wrote. He actually wrote a full play, and But he
wanted to do this, is my point.
Yeah, he saw with the ability that we had with Craig to get him out there, and he wanted the same thing.
No coaching.
No coaching. No
nothing. Directing.
Nope, I turned the camera on, I hit record, and I let these kids do whatever they want to do in front of the camera. And it's emotional, and it's
What's
amazing.
The potential of this, Chris?
I think we can help change these kids' lives. I think getting their talents out there will be something that the world will be shocked. I think these kids will start ending up in big, major motion pictures.
And cities across the country.
Yeah, all over. So hopefully we can change it. And I think Craig's going to get into Broadway, and the world's going to see his ability. Speaking of Craig, again, Lisa Marie Latino is going to be with us right after this, and she'll be talking to Craig, and you'll get a chance to see him, because the future of American cities is, and really comes down to the future of kids like this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Great job. Cool. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.